And those of you from other countries who look at the US, some of you have been incredibly sad at what you've seen going on here. Some of you have just been shocked. How could this happen there? And others of you have watched with a kind of curiosity to say, if things could go this wrong there, what could happen here? And there's some wisdom in that. Because you see, the old format of nation states, while they will exist, at least for a while, it's outdated. We need a global family. And you know, I'm not in human form right now, but if I were, I would want people like you forming that global family, instructing it, loving it into being. Because you are on the spiritual path. You are trying to understand, how does the divine come through me? You're trying to fuller realize your connection to the divine. And that every breath that you breathe, is that the divine breathing? Well, yes, it is. Have you realized that as yet? Perhaps not. But these are times when an entire planet is experiencing fracturing. Now, in truth, in some areas, people have looked at the US and have gotten very humble about their own situation, and they're paying attention in different ways. The leaders around the world are all paying attention. Now, there are those who actually want the US to crumble, lose its power, and perhaps make more power available for them. I'm not saying the people in the country want that. Some may. But others maybe just want to have a good life for themselves. Yet there are other people, other leaders, who look at this whole situation and have become quite humbled, realizing that insurrections and uprisings can come along and can happen in a very brief amount of time. Oh, it didn't. It's been planned for, that event was planned for a long time. But when you look at it, it doesn't appear that way. It seems like it came out of nowhere. And so everyone has to ask, if this is going on in a country to which most people looked up, because it was always seen as a country that was welcoming of people from everywhere. It welcomed your skills and your talents and even your ignorance. It welcomed the fact that you wanted a new home, that you would give up everything to come to these shores. And we saw what a misappropriation of power did at the southern border of the US. Putting little children in cages, taking them away from their parents. These are not Aquarian ideals. But they reveal something. They reveal a tremendous amount of fear. And as Franklin Delano Roosevelt said at his inauguration, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Fear itself is an insidious energy that tears people apart from the inside out. When it is high enough, they will arm themselves, even against their friends. When it is high enough, now I know that they're not going to tell you they're afraid and that's why they have all these guns. They're going to tell you they're protecting something. And a lot of that protection scenario is going on in their mind. It's not happening in their life. They're not protecting anybody in the world. They're not, I mean, they think they are perhaps. If they were actually protecting, that's one thing. But if it's just a scenario they're running in their head where they visualize themselves walking into a place where there's an armed shooter, a mass shooter, and with their own guns, they take down the perpetrator. First of all, you want to wonder if that's really good for the mind, at least for the mind that wants enlightenment. It's guised as protection, but it's really kind of an aggrandizement of the ego. I'm the one who can save everybody, except I never do. I'm never at the place where the mass shooting happens. And so we have to put this in kind of a realistic scenario. And I'm not criticizing anyone. I have great compassion for people whose fears are so great that they feel a need to own 50 or 60 guns. Now, those of you who don't have that kind of fear have no idea what it's like to live in that mindset. The whole world is a place that's coming to get you. The whole world wants what you have. It wants to take away anything that you own. It is all a terrible place that only the fittest will survive. And the fittest means the one who can kill the most before he himself is killed. Can you see this as a huge fear scenario? And I have tremendous compassion for people who fear they cannot trust anyone, say in Washington, but it can be the capital of any country. Oh, granted, politics is corrupt. It always has been. But it doesn't mean that everyone is evil, or that everyone you don't agree with is evil and everyone you agree with is okay. That's a very naive approach.